Hey, welcome to a brand new edition of Snowmobiler Television. On this week's show, we're headed north to Abitibi-Temiscamingue and the trails up in Quebec, but this time we're doing it in style because Ford has given us two brand new F-150s to test out along the way.
STV is brought to you by Yamaha. Conquer snow with Yamaha. Ultimex belts. Performance driven, performance proven. Ford F-Series, Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 53 years. Tough, smart, capable.
Our trip starts at the world headquarters of OSM and STV located in Willow Beach, Ontario. With the Fords connected to our enclosed trailers, we can get the sleds and gear loaded for our 5.5-hour trip to our destination, Rouyn-Noranda. Now for this trip, the trucks that Ford has supplied are both high-end F-150s. One is a limited package and the other is a platinum, but that's not the cool part, because one of these trucks, the Limited, is equipped with a 450 horsepower EcoBoost engine, and the other has got the new half-ton V6 Power Stroke diesel under the hood. We could have gone with just one truck, but why go with one vehicle when you can go with two? Besides, both these trucks are equipped with heated and massaging seats, but in the front only. And we thought it would be totally unfair to have two members of our gang suffer in the back seats without massaging. So, two trucks with 4 massaging seats between them keeps everybody happy. I really wanted to try out the new diesel and see how it towed, and when Ford said they'd come to the party with both a gas and a diesel F-150, we thought, great, a chance to do a fuel mileage test as well. I was curious and I figured other people would be too. In total, we have just over 550 clicks each direction to get to Rouyn and back to the office, so we'll have more than 1,000 kilometers to evaluate fuel consumption. Each truck is loaded with 2 of us, our gear, and each trailer's got 2 sleds inside. And if you've been paying attention, you may have noticed that one trailer is quite a bit taller than the other, so to even things out, we'll switch trailers between trucks for the drive back from Rouyn-Noranda. We're also trying to do this test as authentically as possible. We're even switching drivers between Logan and I to try to even out our driving styles. I know none of this is super scientific, but I want to know which option, gas or diesel, would be better for the way I drive and use a truck. When it comes to towing, I don't like slowing down for the hills, plus I like the feeling of power to get the rig moving, and then having enough power to cruise at comfortable speeds without feeling I'm winding out the engine all the time. I'm also curious to feel how these new F-150s deal with towing a trailer, and whether or not they suffer from trailer sway like the tail wagging the dog. So far, I can tell you this Limited, with the EcoBoost 3.5-liter high-output engine under the hood, same one that's in the Ford Raptor, is pretty impressive to drive. This thing's got a bunch of power, but to make that kind of power, it also takes a lot of fuel. And I suspect that this thing is going to be way thirstier than the diesel. By the numbers, this gasser's got 450 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 510 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500. The diesel is a little less, with 250 horsepower at 3,250 and 440 pounds of torque down low at 1,750 RPM. Obviously though, the gas engine is the more lively of the two. Tell you what, you want to do like a 1, 2, 3 and then a roll on?
Yeah, you just start it off and then we'll just go.
Okay, well, even up with me and then we'll do a 1, 2, 3 and go. All right? So you're getting there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Put your foot to the floor. Oh yeah, bye-bye. I think that was pretty decisive. The diesel's numbers should work better in a trailer towing comparison, where low-end torque is a bigger benefit. Up against the EcoBoost HO, the gasser is much more powerful, and the normal EcoBoost may have been a better option for a direct comparo. But when you do have the option for more power, why would you ever say no? In addition, the EcoBoost HO is only available in the limited models, so even though we're apples to oranges a bit when it comes to engines, overall price-wise, each of these trucks spec out to cost pretty much the same thing. So dollar for dollar, these two F-150s represent what you get for the same money with either a gas or a diesel powertrain. I'm in the diesel now, and even though it doesn't have the same giddy up that the gasser's got, it's still pretty good. In fact, it doesn't feel very diesel-y at all. In here, there's no rattle coming from the engine, and just like the EcoBoost, there's not any real turbo lag to speak of either. In fact, if you didn't know you were driving a diesel pickup truck, you couldn't tell.
Here we go, and we all don't need to fear no more. In the end, you will know the ones we're fighting for. In the days that will come, we'll test you to the core as long as we can do it together.
When it comes to towing, what I feel about both trucks is how well each of them deal with the trailers. We're not loaded real heavy, but the enclosed trailers behind each of these trucks make for a decent sized sail. Plus, we're not running any load leveling or sway controllers on the hitches to stabilize the trailers either. Each truck is very comfortable feeling in the mild crosswinds we have today or passing semi-trucks. I'd say as good as some 3/4 or 1-ton trucks from just a few years ago.
Here we go. In the end, in the days that come, all that matters is we're together. All that matters is we're together.
All in all, these trucks are a pretty sweet way to go snowmobiling, which we're going to do right after the break. Then, at the end of the show, we'll catch up and we'll figure out how these trucks made out on their fuel mileage evaluation. But for right now, I think the crew and I are going to sit back, relax in these heated and massaging seats, and enjoy the rest of our trip up to Rouen. Might even recline a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, yeah. So we made it into Rouen, Noranda late last night, and it was a chilly one. We saw -34 on the way here, and this morning when we woke up, it was still -29. Even right now, I think it's still about -25. But before we can get to our ride, we got to get the sleds out of the trailers, which means we got to start the trucks because we got to move them forward to drop the back doors because they're up against a snowbank right now. Hopefully, it's not going to be an issue for the diesel, but I have a high degree of confidence. I think. And there we go. Just like it was above zero.
It comes down to the movement. We go forward or back. I admit I was lost, but now I'm not.
So we got the truck started pretty easy. The next question is whether or not the sleds are going to start, because it's cold in these boxes. This is not going well. And it's got this stupid drive-by-wire thing. As soon as you touch it, it stops turning over.
Put it in eco mode.
Oh yeah, that'll change everything. I would have laughed if it started, but it's not starting. I'll start the Polaris and maybe it'll want to start after that.
Easy. Okay, Skidoo. Polaris is eating your lunch right now. There we go. It's cold though. I don't think it's gonna move for a while.
Don't look back, don't look back. The sun rises and yeah, the sun will always set.
We always seem to have too much stuff to get done in the mornings for the TV show, and that really cuts into our ride time, which I'm eagerly looking forward to. We were in this area last year for one of my favorite trips of the season. We rode out of Val d'Or for a few days that included an overnight stay at the Balbazar Sauvage and an epic off-trail adventure on old forest access roads. That was my first time in the area, and although I was told by riding buddies that this area was pretty good, I still had to experience it for myself. This time around though, I know what I'm in for, and my thumb is itching to pull the trigger. Minutes into the ride out of Rouen, I was in my happy place. The cold temperatures of the past few days have set up the trails perfectly with squeaky snow and tons of grip, with just enough fresh top coat of loose powder to keep things interesting. To describe the trails here as wide and flowing doesn't do it justice. Whether by design or not, there's just a rhythm to the trails. Curves, straightaways, and elevation changes all flow together for a ride experience that is so good. I just hope my words in these images can do it justice, because what you're seeing on screen right now is my best day on the trails that I can remember. Oh, so good.
Don't look back, don't look back.
For this ride in Abitibi West, we chose a bagger tour, so we have 2 overnights before we're back to our trucks and our final stay in Rouen-Noranda. Our overnights included 1 stop in Amos and then a second in La Serre. If you're familiar with the area, you might recognize that we haven't planned on crazy distances. On this trip, our days end up in and around 200 clicks each. But the trail options in Abitibi West allow you to increase this daily distance by a bunch if you wanted to. This ride is happening mid-January 2019, and I'm sure you can tell that the snow conditions are pretty good, which, in addition to providing near-perfect trails, has loaded the trees with snow for a pretty nice background to look at while you ride. Again, so good.
So good. I mean, these trails are just so good. I think what we're gonna do is just drop our packs, maybe warm up for a bit in the hotel, and go right back out and ride. What do you say, Logan?
Oh yeah. 'Cause I am home when I walk through that door. No matter where we are, a hotel on the coast or driving the car. If I were a hat, I would hang it on your coat rack. If I get a break, I would try to fix your heartache. If I had the time, I would always make you laugh. Don't ever feel alone, 'cause you're my home.
Coming up after the break, our ride continues in Abitibi West. Last night was a great way to burn off the last of the fuel which we had in our tanks. I do like riding at night, it's just so good. This morning, we're again treated to a fresh topping of snow and slightly warmer temperatures as we head out on the trails, which so far have been a consistent perfection. This whole system and how it integrates into the communities of Abitibi West make this a snowmobiler's paradise. Signage is excellent and accurate, which is reassuring as a new rider to the area to know how far away you are from towns and services. Lunch stops, which always seem to have excellent club sandwiches and French fries, are easily accessible along with fuel. Getting in and out of the towns is pretty straightforward, and if you need clarification, everyone is helpful to get you going in the right direction. Snowmobiling here is part of the community and a lifestyle for the people of Abitibi West. They are proud of the system that they have put together for themselves and are happy to share it with riders who come here to visit and experience this region.
Yeah, here it's winter season is about maybe 6 months a year. So as a child, we're always going and sled with the parents or friend family. So as young as I remember, everyone ride a sled before riding a car. It's a small community. Everyone knows everyone. So everyone has a friend or someone who has a sled. So everyone is involved to take care of the trail and the relay and everything. The volunteers take a huge part of the Club de Motoneige. So they are very, very, very proud of the trail. So we have around 550 kilometers from our club, and we have other clubs like Rouen, Amos, Val d'Or. They have it's a nice loop, and we can go everywhere. What's unique? It's the view. It's fantastic. The river, we got some rivers, some lakes, some mountain, a lot of snow, as you see, and the temperature is fantastic too. We're friendly, open mind, and we love everyone. So we like to share our love from the snow and the sled. So we like everyone to come see us.
It might take a little time, and what we seek is undefined. The truth is so hard to know.
After 3 days on the trails of Abitibi West, all I want to do is plan my next trip to get back. We literally just scratched the surface of the riding opportunities here by staying relatively close to the towns along the trails and keeping our distances in check. There are complete parts of this region that we never even made it to. Places like a more wilderness area north of La Serre that's supposed to be even better than where we rode. I'm not sure how you improve on perfection, but that's the area that the locals like to go ride, so then it must be good. There, it looks like I've talked myself into coming back. Man, this place is so good.
We see everything for what it is and what it's worth. We read between the lines. We climb higher than those who came before, 'cause that's what's needed to shine. It might take a little time, and what we seek is undefined. The truth is so hard to know. All we can do is keep a smile every now and then and see where it goes. See where it goes.
So that concludes our 3-day tour here in Abitibi West, but tomorrow we still have to take those 2 brand new Ford trucks and drive back home. But right now, I think it's time for this guy to go in there, get registered in the hotel, and have an adult beverage. I think we deserve it, but it was so worth it. We go in there.
So it's Friday, and we're on our last leg of the trip home from our trip to Abitibi West. I gotta say, those trails are so good. Even last night, on our way into the hotel, it was as good as it was when we left the hotel early this week. But I must say, after a week on the road riding sleds, we're all a little tired, so it's nice to be treated to a luxurious ride home in these F150s. My seat heater, it's on high right now. Nearing the 1,000K mark on these trucks, I think I have a real understanding of where they stack up with their fuel consumption. And like I thought, the 450 horse EcoBoost is thirsty but zippy. On its computerized fuel consumption calculator, it's showing 25 liters per 100K, while the diesel has averaged 18 since the beginning of the trip when both trucks had their systems reset. The diesel also feels like you're pressing a bit harder on the throttle pedal to maintain cruising speed, but even with that, it's definitely better on fuel. Now, the EcoBoost does feel a lot more effortless when it's towing, but it's almost always in boost, which means it's using fuel. After our last fuel stop, I'll calculate the consumption manually because I never really trust these computers. Until then, I can already say that if I was constantly towing a trailer, the diesel would be a much better option between these 2 trucks, especially if fuel efficiency was a concern. If you're all about power, then go EcoBoost all the way. But even then, I think you would find better fuel economy with diesel when the truck is loaded. Then you'd obviously have to calculate the extra cost of optioning into diesel over the normal EcoBoost, then figure out the difference in fuel prices between gas and diesel, and then figure out if the fuel you save while towing justifies all the extra cost of diesel ownership. Or if you've got a fleet fuel card that only allows you to purchase diesel, that's definitely another reason, but a good one. If this is the motor that's in the Raptor, I think the Raptor would be pretty ho-hum to drive. After our final fuel stop, we've got the numbers. In total, we traveled 1,190 kilometers, and the limited F-150 EcoBoost consumed 289 liters of fuel, while the Platinum Power Stroke burned 211.5 liters. Cost-wise, that works out to $255 of diesel and $339 of premium gas, which is required in this HO EcoBoost. These numbers put the average fuel consumption of the diesel at 17.7 liters per 100K, or 13.2 mpg, and the gasser at 24.2 liters per 100K, or 9.7 miles per gallon. And that's it. What it costs, no sugarcoating. I mean, we're snowmobilers. Do we really care what fuel costs are? I mean, have you ever checked what the miles per gallon is on your snowmobile? I think buy whatever truck works best for you in your situation. Till next week, stay safe on the roads, and we'll see you on Snowmobiler Television. Hey Logan, you got my crap loaded up yet?
STV has been brought to you by CKX. Wear your passion. On Snow Magazine, for snowmobilers from snowmobilers.
Ford has given us 2 brand new F-150s to haul our ass up and down. I probably shouldn't have said ass.
You're yelling a lot.
Okay, because it's cold.